Hello and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be looking at a hypothetical 2028 election map between Barack Obama and Donald Trump. Now, as you all know, Donald Trump is currently serving his second term as president, and Barack Obama already served 2 terms as president, and due to the 22nd Amendment, both men are term limited. That means they can't run for another term as president. However, recently, Donald Trump has floated running for a third term. He's sort of vaguely entertained the idea or talked about it. And there have been some Republicans that have, introduced constitutional amendments to allow him to run a third term. Now, obviously, these amendments have an extremely small chance of passing. In fact, I would be extremely shocked if these amendments were ever ratified. So we will continue to have term limits, but this video is purely hypothetical. It's for fun. So we're going to see if in 2028, if we remove term limits, could Barack Obama defeat Donald Trump? So looking back at some of their previous races, Barack Obama was first elected in 2008 in a landslide. He won 365 electoral votes. He won the popular vote by 7 points. He did extremely well in the Midwest, the Northeast, parts of the South, as well as the West. And then he was reelected in 2012 with 332 electoral votes, and he won the popular vote by 4 points. But then in 2016, in a huge shock, Donald Trump was elected president, but he did lose the popular vote. And then in 2020, he did lose re-election, losing both the Electoral College and the popular vote, only to come back in 2024, win the Electoral College, and to win the popular vote for the first time. Now, an important thing to keep in mind, going from 2008 to 2024, you can see clearly that the electoral map has shifted quite a bit. In fact, if you compare 2020 and 2008, well, this feature isn't really working right now, but if we go back and forth between 2008 and 2020, a lot of states, they have shifted, they've changed. For example, Ohio, this is a state that Trump won by 11 in 2024, but in 2008, Obama won this state by almost 5 points. That's a pretty big swing to the right. So again, the map has shifted a lot since 2008 and 2012. So that will affect the outcomes in quite a few states. But another thing that I wanted to talk about was the fact that in 2017, when Obama left office, he did have a 59% approval rating and a 37 disapproval rating. So he was quite popular when he left office, and to this day, even after leaving office, he's still fairly popular. But again, since when you're not in office, you're out of the public eye for the most part, so it's easier to rebound in popularity. For example, in 2009, when George W. Bush left office, he had a 13% approval rating. However, since then, that approval rating has significantly rebounded. So now finally getting to the map, keeping all of those considerations in mind, we're going to fill out the safe blue states first. You've got Washington, Oregon, California, some of these West Coast states. We've got New Mexico. We've got we've got Colorado, and I'll add in New Mexico there as well. Hawaii, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, a lot of these northeastern states here, Connecticut, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts. Actually, New Hampshire should not be safe blue. Sorry about that. Maine's first congressional district will be safe blue, as well as Maine at large. And then on the Republican side, we've got states here out west like Utah, the Dakotas, Kansas, Oklahoma, and such. And then obviously here in the South, we've got quite a few safe red states. And then I will say I think Alaska will probably be safe red in this scenario. Now, looking on over to the state of Minnesota, this is a state that all three of his election bids Trump did lose, and Obama won all three times. I think this is a state that would probably go to Obama by 7 or 8 points in this scenario, making it likely blue. And just to clarify, if it's safe, that means above 10-point margin, likely between 5 and 10 points, lean between 1 and 5 points, and tilt less than 1 percentage point. Now, going on over to Nebraska's 2nd congressional district, this is a congressional district that Kamala Harris won by 4 points. I think Obama does improve upon that. Now, Obama did lose to Romney in this district by about 2 points in 2012 after he initially won it in 2008, but the lines have been redrawn since then. I think Obama does improve upon Harris's margin here. He wins this by a likely margin. Now, going on over to the state of Nevada, in 2008, Obama won Nevada by 12 points. In 2016, he won here by 6 points. Trump lost it in 2012. Obama won here by 6 points. Trump lost it in his first two races, but in 2024, he did finally flip it. Seeing that it's had a considerable streak towards Democrats, and Obama got very solid margins here. I do think Obama wins this state of Nevada, probably by around 4 points or so I'll give it a lean blue margin. Now, going on over to the state of Florida, this is a state that Obama carried both times. In 2008, he won by 3 points. In 2012, he won by a point. Then, of course, Trump flipped it in 2016. He won by a point, expanded that margin to 3.5, and then in 2024 he won by a whopping 13 points. I mean, Florida is a solidly red state now, but of course Obama did win it twice. I think he's still got a lot of appeal with Latino voters. So I think although Trump would certainly win Florida in this scenario, I think Obama does better here than Kamala Harris. So I think Trump wins by high single digits, around 8 or 9 points in the state of Florida. Now in Texas, Trump won it all three times. Obama lost here both times. Texas, Trump did win by almost 14 points in 2024. I think Obama does do better than Kamala Harris. I think Texas narrows in this scenario, probably around 9 or 10 points, maybe 11. I'll be a little generous to Obama. I'll say 9 points. So I'll say Texas would be a likely Republican state in this hypothetical scenario. Now, going on over to the state of Arizona, if we take a look, Obama never won Arizona. In 2008, he ran against Senator John McCain, who represented Arizona in the U.S. Senate for a long time. McCain won by 8.5 points, and then in 2012, Romney won by 9 points. So it was out of reach for Obama. But then in 2016, it narrows. Trump wins by a few points. 2020, Biden narrowly carries it. And then in 2024, it swings back. Trump wins by 5.5. I think Arizona is a state that Trump would do well in against Obama. I think Trump wins Arizona, but I think it's a slightly closer margin than it was against Harris. I think Trump wins in Arizona by 3 or 4 points, which would make it a lean red state. Now, in the state of Ohio, this is a state that Obama won twice. Back in 2008, a very healthy 9.5 point margin. And then in 2012, 6-point margin. But then Trump flips it in 2016, wins by nearly 10 points. It slightly narrows in 2020, 8 points. But then in 2024, he wins by 13 points. I mean, right now, Iowa is a solid red state. Although Obama was popular in Iowa, I don't think he can win it against Trump in 2028. I do think Obama narrows the margin. It's high single-digit victory here for Trump, but again, this would be a red state. Ohio, similar story, really. In 2008, Obama wins by almost 5 points, 3-point win in 2012. Trump wins by 8, both in 2016 and 2020, and then wins by 11 in 2024. Solid red state. I think Obama narrows the margin here to 7 or 8 points, but again, it would go to Trump. Now, in the state of Michigan, this is a state that Obama always did well in. Going back to 2008, he won Michigan by 16.5 points, and that's insane. And then in 2012, he won by 9.5 points. Very good margin. Trump shocked America when he flipped Michigan in 2016, barely winning it by about 11,000 votes. It was a very close race in Michigan. In 2020, Trump obviously did lose Michigan to Biden. He won by about almost 3 points there. Flips it back in 2020 by about 1.5 points. I think Obama does quite well in Michigan, not as well as he did back in 2012 or 2008, but still pretty well. I think he's still pretty popular there. I think, and Obama did do quite well with the white working class voters in the Midwest compared to Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris. I think Michigan is a state that Obama wins by around 4 points or so, close to 5. I think he does quite well in Michigan. But in Wisconsin, this is a state that Obama won by 14. He won by 7. Trump narrowly carries it in 2016. Biden narrowly takes it 2020. Trump narrowly takes it back in 2024. Whenever Trump has ran, Wisconsin has been extremely close, but Obama has always performed quite well in Wisconsin. I think he wins Wisconsin by a few points. And then going on over to Pennsylvania, Obama 10-point win here in 2008. 5-point win in 2012. Very solid margins. Trump narrowly carries it. 2016 loses it to Biden narrowly in 2020, and then wins it back in 2024. With Trump, it has always been a close margin similar to Wisconsin, but Obama has always easily won Pennsylvania. I think he would do quite well here, again, winning Pennsylvania by 3 to 4 points. Now, going on over to Maine's 2nd Congressional District, this is quite interesting because we have had redistricting since Obama ran here. In 2008, he won by 11 points. 2012, he won by 8.5. Trump flips it in 2016. The district lines are pretty similar. He wins it in 2016 by over 10 points, which is a shock. That's a huge swing towards Trump. 2020, Biden narrows it to 7.5, and then Trump wins here by 9 in 2024. Now, although Obama did perform quite well in this district, it's a fairly red area now. Although down ballot, it has elected Democrat Jared Golden to the House consistently since 2018. I do think Trump wins here. I think Obama keeps this competitive somewhat. I think Trump wins here by around 6 points or so. Now, going on over to New Hampshire, Obama always did well in New Hampshire. He did win by 10 points in 2008. In 2012, he won by 5. Trump almost won New Hampshire in 2016. Clinton barely squeaked by here. And then 2020, Biden wins by 7. Harris wins by 3. Trump never quite won New Hampshire. Obama always did well. I think Obama wins New Hampshire by high single digits. And as you will see here, Obama is at 263. He just needs one more of the states to win, and I do think he will get that. So if we look at the state of Virginia, Obama flipped it in 2008. This is a state that voted for Bush both times. He won here by 6 in 2008. In 2012, he wins by 4. 2016, Clinton wins by 5. Biden wins by 10. Harris wins by 6. Virginia is a blue state now on the federal level. I don't think Trump can change that. It has gone for the Democrats for 5 straight presidential elections. I think that will continue to stay the case. I think Obama wins here by around 8 points or so. Now, that does get Obama to 276 electoral votes, which does mean that he would beat Trump. But I do want to look at these final 2 states here. North Carolina, this is a state Trump won all 3 of his presidential bids. He won here by 3 points in 2024, 1.3 in 2020, and 3.7 in 2016. Obama did lose North Carolina to Romney by 2 in 2012, but he narrowly carried it in the 2008 blue wave. Considering the fact that this was the last time the Democrats won North Carolina in a presidential election, I think North Carolina has consistently been a lean red state. I don't think that would change in this scenario. I think Trump wins North Carolina by around 1 or 2 points. Now, going to the state of Georgia, this is a state that Obama never won. He lost by 5 to McCain. He lost by 8 to Romney. Trump carried it by 5 in 2016, but in 2020, Joe Biden narrowly flipped the state of Georgia. And then in 2024, Trump did win back Georgia by only 2 points, though. I do think Obama wins Georgia, and my reasoning is this. Although Georgia did swing back to the right in 2024, relative to the national popular vote, it actually moved to the left. And what do I mean by that? Well, in 2020, Biden won the popular vote by 4.5, but he only won Georgia by 0.25 percentage point. That means that relative to the nation, Georgia voted over 4 points to the right of the nation. However, in 2024, Trump wins by 2.2, although he wins the national popular vote by 1.5. So relative to the nation, Georgia voted less than a point right of the nation in 2024. So relative to the nation, Georgia has still moved left. I think that continues with Obama. I think he does win it by a few points, which would get Obama to 292 electoral votes. Trump would get 246 in the 2028 presidential election. So again, this is all purely hypothetical. It's all for fun. It's just entertainment purposes. Don't take it too seriously. And if you did enjoy, please be sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss a future upload. And I will see you all in the next video.